Ew. Y'all let me know what this sound is sounding like. Y'all, I almost want to show y'all what I look like right now. It looks real crazy. But it's worth it just for you all. It is worth it. So I have to be able to work and um kind of demonstrate what's going on right now. So y'all forgive me. I'm trying to get in my little mode right now. Because per usual, I'm supposed to be somewhere. And at the last minute, y'all know I'm working on some projects. So let's see. Hopefully y'all can see this little camera. I literally have a camera strapped to my chest from a selfie stick. So I have a selfie stick strapped to my chest right now. So y'all can see what's going on and it won't be in the way. And I won't have to keep picking up the camera stand and moving it because I'm going to be moving around. So let me see if I can hear and see y'all. Okay, so it was echoey and now it's fine. Uh-oh, I'm lying. So the echo came back when I turned that sound on. All right, so let's see which one of these is it going to make big. All right. So I'm playing with the StreamYard and this camera strapped to my chest. Do not judge my life. Or if you do, just don't tell me about it, okay? I don't want to see it in the comments. Don't be judging me. All right. Yes, Tracy, I'm supposed to be taking some time off, but unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, part of me taking this time off was to do some business stuff, some fun business stuff. So I am creating the branded apparel for myself and my one of my best friends, her business, and yeah, I'm doing it at the last minute. That's the story of my life. So I'm trying to adjust this little chest camera. Hopefully y'all can see what's going on here. And I'm going to be pretty much hitting every corner of this room. That's why I didn't want to do the camera stand today, because I guarantee you I'm going to be knocking something over with it. So hopefully this doesn't give you too much like vertigo or anything. We'll make it work. All right, all right. So one thing that I'm doing right now is creating some all over shirts for this boom bang living and learning. Okay, this is my friend's brand, and we're gonna do a little activity this well tomorrow. So we're going to get our kids together and start up our content for our kids' content. So I figured y'all might want to, hang out with me while I'm working on this stuff at the last moment, of course. All right, so we're going to be making the RAM boards for these are what's called Rash Guards, and I have to keep messing with this angle of the camera here. So depending on whether I'm shooting something down or up, y'all let me know if you can see, okay? Why can't I see the comments? So when I'm on the camera, I can't see the comments. So don't know why that is. Let me see if I can make it show me the comments. Chat. Okay. Comments. There it goes. I guess it was private chat. Now I can see y'all. All right. So this is one we just did. The first one of the bunch, and I figured I was going to be doing all of this work. I might as well show y'all the work so that if you have any questions, y'all can ask me, and we can kind of get this session in together today. All right, so one is done. Let's go ahead and show you how to make these RAM boards. I know I've gotten this question a lot. Like I said, forgive my shaky camera. It's literally like attached to me right now. That was the youth small. We got a youth medium here. Let me bring the camera back up so you can see. This is a youth medium. This is the RAM board, an extra small. And what we're doing is making whatever sizes we need for this. And these are reusable. So I'm going to take y'all through the process of me making them. And then we're going to press them up and all. So y'all can hang out with me today if you can. All right. So the next size that I need to make is a youth large, or you already made youth large, didn't you? Yeah. All right. All right. So let me get this cover paper out of the way for a second. I just pre-pressed my youth large right here. All right, so got all the wrinkles out, looking pretty good. This Rash Guard is going to give you wrinkles. Most Rash Guards will. The way that it's sewn is going to give you wrinkles underneath. But I would rather, I stretched the shirt out, and I'm going to tell you why. I made it a little bit bigger so that it pulled the shirt taut, because otherwise these wrinkles would be more like tents and folds under the arms. And I would rather them kind of look like tie-dye, kind of scrunched wrinkles than like big gaping white triangles. Okay, so I made this a little bit larger than it needs to be, and I'm going to go ahead and label this one youth large. Y'all get to see me work from scratch. So however long it takes is what it takes. So hopefully we get it done a little bit quicker. This is youth large. All right. And then I'm going to press an example one and let my brother here help me. So while I show you how I press the example one, then I'll be over here cutting RAM board, and hopefully we can both work at the same time. All right, so let's go with the youth medium. All right, so we're gonna press this one. Now this is a Rash Guard. A Rash Guard is basically like a swimwear. You see surfers wear it a lot. And it has lycra in it, or spandex in it. So you see how stretchy it is? And I literally have it stretched out on the board here. I can't really zoom in and out. So hopefully you can see what you can see with me. All right, so that's the youth medium. And what we require is two of these prints here. So I have a little bit of parchment paper down on top of my Nomex, and then on top of my hardboard here. So if you do the all over class that I have on the Innate Academy, it tells you just to get the hardboard, because initially I don't want you feeling overwhelmed. I want you to understand you can do all over shirts with a 13 by 19 printer or an 8.5-inch printer, any printer that you have, and using a hardboard and the tiling, the magic tile template, you can tile whatever you need to in order to get an all over shirt. Fortunately, we have our little Big Papa over here. And Big Papa prints 44 inches wide. I have 36-inch raw media in right now. And we're able to get this as one good old sheet here. And then what I was able to do is put a little area down below the sleeves where I am going to attempt to make some masks while simultaneously pressing the shirts. So let's see if that magic can happen today. All right, first thing first, I'm going to go ahead and I already pre-pressed. No, I didn't pre-press this shirt. So let me show you how you're supposed to do it. Do not be like me and not pre-press your shirts, okay? So let's go ahead and pre-press. Let's show you the proper way. I'm just going to get a little bit of my cover paper. And place it above. But if you see here, it's also going to help me lay down this RAM board. I made this tight on purpose, but it's also curling up a little. So you'll see when I get ready to press it that it will kind of take some of that curl out of it. But I'm also going to check the back. One thing about what we're about to do, I'm going to press the front and the back pretty much sandwiched together. So I'm not going to press the front, then flip it over, then press the back. I'm going to sandwich the front and back together, press one side, and then I'm going to keep it sandwiched, flip it, and then press the other side. Okay. So with that said, I need to make sure that my back looks as good as my front. Okay. I won't have the luxury of changing the back once I press the front. So let's go ahead and throw on this cover paper. And I don't need this big old cover paper. I just need the cover paper that's big enough to go underneath this press right now. But since I have this big piece, that's what we're going to make work. I'm going to need my handy dandy assistant to pull on that. My board sticks out so far, and I have it set higher so that it's at standing height to press. But when this press is at standing height, this is the Hotronix Auto Clam 16 by 20, and I have to do the lean back to show y'all literally. Yeah, press it all the way down, and then what's going to happen is this is going to get all your wrinkles out, and that pressure is also going to help to relax some of the seams and hopefully get it to where it's as flat as possible, so you don't end up with those lines in your shirt because you weren't ready for all of the different variations of thickness. And let me see if I can get this to not be so crooked. Okay. All right, so I'm actually allowing this to press the whole time, only because where the press is hard to pop it back open. But you only have to pre-press each section for about 10 seconds. This is pretty much going the entire time. So this is going to be 3 presses for me. Go ahead. Thank you, thank you. That's right. All right, so while this is going, I'm going to tell you, you want a cover paper that's going to be the same size as your print. So right now, these are the youth sizes. They end up being about 36 by 30 with the mask area down there. And you might also, you might be able to get, a sock or so in this if it was just a little bit longer. So use that area beneath your sleeve for something. And then when you're doing the all over prints, whenever you order from Innate Lab, you pretty much just submit whatever it is on that 36 by 44 artboard. And I'm able sometimes to get like matching socks in there or mask prints in that blank space underneath the sleeve. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and press the bottom of this. See how flat it is now? It really does make a difference. All right, and I need to make sure I'm covering it completely. All right, hold on a second. Here we go. All right. And like I said, you want the cover paper to be the same size as the print, because basically I'm going to move it all as one piece. I'm not going to move my board at all. I'm only going to shift my paper. That way it'll be a lot less cumbersome to move around. And if you had a lot of these to do, you don't have to worry about shifting that big board. All right. So in order to do that, I'm going to pull my paper, which this is a 36-inch butcher paper here from Amazon. And then I'm just going to pull it out to the length of the paper here. And these are just some little foldable tables that I have a 36 by 44 inch board on top of, so I can kind of maneuver around with whatever configuration my heart desires for the day. All right, so I'm going to let this side here rest down so that I can pretty much cut it. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want it close enough. Just gonna run that along the edge there, and you see my cover paper for the bottom is about the same size as my print now. All right, now at this point, I'm going to take one of my prints, place it on top of the cover paper, and then I'm going to place it on the heat press. And keep in mind, on the heat press right now, I have some parchment paper, I have my Nomex felt, And then I have the hardboard here. Now the parchment paper is just there just to protect my Nomex. I probably will do a custom size Teflon sheet, maybe even make a little Teflon pillow for this. But right now I'm working with what I'm working with. I'm actually exploring this Nomex right now to let you all know how much I like it or not like it. So for right now, I'm liking it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to place my shirt with the RAM board in it to where the graphic will not go above that front neckline, not the back neckline, but the front one. And then of course here I have plenty of bleed area around the sides of the shirt, around the bottom, and even around the neckline up there. And this right here will do the youth extra small or youth small to the youth large. And of course I have my little prints here. I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of masks. I'm going to try a couple of these things here because I have them and I figured why not. I've been having these for quite some time. This will be a good little surprise for my bestie. She's not expecting me to do masks for her, but I think she would really like this. So maybe I'll just do, because I think I could do 4 at a time. Let me just do one first. Let me not be so ambitious because I just made up this template just now. And I'm hoping that when this one, and this one needs to be pre-pressed. So let me grab one that may already be flat. I think all of them need to be pre-pressed. We'll deal with it. Now this is tacky paper, so it should give me a little bit of forgiveness anyhow. All right, so once this one presses this way, then this one should press this way. So let me see that. I'm going to sandwich the other paper on top now. So it looks exactly the same, and I should have flipped the background because flipping the background makes it look more consistent from front to back. But it's definitely done. It's done right now. And it's such a busy pattern, you won't be able to see that it doesn't. Okay. So that's something. I thought it was my jump. I was like, I don't even have my ringer on most times. I don't know what that noise is. All right. So I'm checking here to make sure that I line up this little box here. That's where my mask is. I'm going to check this corner over here to make sure that it lines up. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just to make sure that nothing hangs off and gets so misaligned that you don't have anything worth looking at. All right, and the way this template is set up, if you see here, the print for the other side of, or the left side versus the right side of the mask is mirror image, so that my boom bang prints the right way each time. I didn't do that the first time I printed this, and I learned my lesson. So I'll show you that file when I get back to the computer. Okay, so I have things lined up here. I have my cover paper underneath. This is tacky paper, so I'm not going to even need to tape it or anything. As soon as I press it one time, that heat is going to allow for the paper to get a little bit tacky. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the bottom of the shirt first because it has less seam differentiation. So I'm also going to press my mask at the same time. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I come all the way to this bottom here. Matter of fact, I'll press it this way so I can make sure I get the mask and the bottom of the shirt. And this is going to be 4 presses, possibly 5. And my mask comes all the way down here to this edge, so I want to make sure that I definitely clear it. All right. And if you'll do the honors for me, Blake. All right, so that's going to be 45 seconds at about 385. Every press is different. I had a press that was literally about 12 degrees off from what it read, so I would have to adjust my my gauge accordingly to get the proper temperature that I wanted. And of course, different materials might take a different time and temperature setup as well. So it's 385, 45 seconds. And this is the Stahls Hottronic 16 by 20 that I got from Heat Transfer Warehouse. Please use my affiliate codes, y'all. I forget to say them all the time, but yeah, if you do use them, it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's like giving your girl a tip for giving you the tea. All right, so let's see. All right, so you see we got that corner depressed right here. So it did grab that mask. So we'll see how that looks in just a little bit once we reveal everything. And then I'm going to do an overlap here of about 3 finger widths. If I can show y'all that, I got my body turned 3 finger widths. So 3 finger widths overlap. Let's see how that works. And I'm not using a cover paper over the top of this because I want you all to see where the paper is yellowing and where we're doing our overlap. And then on top of that, you know, I'm just probably, the bigger reason is I'm just being lazy and I don't use cover paper on the top most times. But depending on your press temperature, what type of paper you use, whether the ink bleeds through the paper, this is a pretty heavy paper. But if I had thinner paper and my ink bled through the paper a lot, then I probably would want to use a cover sheet because I don't want it getting on my heat press. And then I forget about it and press it into some white fabric somewhere. All right, so we're going to let that go. I'm going to take you through this whole press process, and then I'm going to flip it, do the other side, and I'll show you the RAM board, and maybe we'll even have time to do some art because I still have art to do for this project, y'all. Surprise, surprise. All right. So technically, if this works out, which I'm not sure yet, I should be able to print and press 4 masks while I'm doing this all over shirt. Wait, get that little corner right there. There you go. Good deal. All right, so that's press number 3 right now. And the tricky part is right here along the collar. It's got such a difference in the thickness at the collar than any other place on the shirt because you also have the seams for the sleeves with the collar. And you have to be very aware of that because that's what gets those lines. People ask how they get those lines in the press when they're pressing. It's because your heat press is literally digging into your print, creating a crease, and then that ink will never release from that crease. So it makes it look like there is just a blank straight line going down your wherever your press lines were. So in order to avoid that, we have the Nomex felt. Nomex felt is going to naturally expand in the heat, so it kind of fills in those gaps for us, and that's really important for in comparison to like some of the foams, which eventually kind of actually smush and permanently shrink in the heat. The Nomex felt is supposed to be durable for a very long time. That's why I didn't mind spending money on this versus having to keep replacing an inexpensive foam of this size. I'm sure there's some other things you can do. They have the neoprene foam or the rubber silicone type of sheets, but I don't think they absorb the thickness of the materials as well as this does. I like how this will pretty much, dig into the Nomex and still give me very good gas release. Or I'm pointing at the gas release along these creases. All right, so if you can see, it kind of looks embossed a little bit, the paper does. And it looks like we have pressed all 4 areas. And I'm going to do my best to flip this whole thing while keeping everything sandwiched inside, okay? So I'm going to grab it where the sleeves are. And of course, I have this camera on my chest. So hopefully I don't knock the camera off my chest trying to do this. So I'm grabbing it around the sleeve area. I'm going to pick it up and do my best to toss it forward and keep it all together. Now, there could have been some shifting that occurred, so I don't want to make you think that this is going to be a perfect process every time, but it allows me to line up my front and back at one time and hopefully press these masks together. So again, I'm going to start at the bottom now. And of course, I have a mask to press, so I want to make sure that I get that whole mask in there. I think we did it this way last time. All right, so let's go ahead and press that all the way down. Give that full time. And my mask happens to be right here. I don't know, I don't need the peekaboo because I was going to peekaboo at the mask, but when I lift it up and then lift it back down, it will more than likely cause ghosting and shifting in the print. So let me leave it alone and hopefully it will do what I want it to do. And if I can remember next time before I put the shirt on, I will pre-press the mask. That way they're nice and flat and don't have that little wrinkle in the ear. All right, a few more seconds. That's one. I'm going to come shift this down to the other side now. Do the same thing. And then I'm going to have to walk all the way around this apparatus. Or I guess I could go to this side. Let me see if I can reach it. Yeah, I'm on my tippy toes. Y'all pray for me. All right, I made it. Okay. So pressing that one, I will have 2 more presses. And I'm going to kind of peek at my collar. So I'm trying to get this in 4 presses. However, if I see that I have too much of a void underneath the collar, like there's too much white or lighter space down here, then I will do a 5th press. And I will just make sure that I press down the center of the neck every single time. And it'll just be an extra press. I'll just have to do it. It's just, I'd rather do that extra press and be safe than to think I did everything right, do all these presses and realize I have that little white disappearing trick around my collar. All right, and then got this one here. All right, let's do it one more again. Pull it down. Flip to the toes. Okay. All right. Let me check on some comments. I gotta move my whole camera to check the comments, but I want to see what y'all talking about. Yes, the boss and me. Yes, this is the same board for the all over press. You see that? Now this is the board that is for the bottom. You're using this. It's called hardboard, and I'm sure there's some other materials that would probably work best, but this is very inexpensive and something I don't mind telling y'all to purchase in order to do all over shirts. The all over shirt tutorial with the templates, with the magic split templates. Those are that class is your very basics. I didn't tell y'all to buy anything that you didn't have to buy. Matter of fact, I didn't even tell you needed heat tape. I told y'all we were going to use masking tape, keep it really inexpensive and doable for everyone, right? You can go ahead, press that one down. So now I also told y'all I was going to start doing some videos to show you some more advanced techniques, advanced materials. So this right here, I don't remember the exact price, but it's probably somewhere around about $150 to $200 for this big piece of felt. And it was actually a little bit bigger than that, and I trimmed it down so that it could go up to a 5X. That's why I'm hanging off my board a little bit here, because I also want to be able to do my 5X with this same Nomex felt. Okay. And even if I choose to do the all over press, it's a 39 by 41, the size that we're looking at. I will still need this additional space for my 5X because a 5X won't fit on there. So I wanted to be able to use this Nomex because I think it's going to last me a good old lifetime. It's some really high quality, high grade, high performance type of material. All right, so here's the moment of truth. We're going to check this top of this collar here. Ooh, it's hot. And if you hear that tackiness there, and I have to let the comments go for a second so I can see what I'm showing y'all. And my camera's all crooked. Let me get y'all back a little straighter. Maybe I'm crooked. Who knows? All right. Let's peel that off. You hear it tacking to itself there. My main concern, I want to check up under this collar and make sure we have good contact. Check these sleeves. See right here, the sleeves. I don't have good contact right there. So I'm going to place this back down. And I'm going to go ahead and get this area here one more time. So that fifth press is going to be necessary for me. I'm going to have the press dig all the way into the middle of my shirt where there is no hem or anything to kind of balance that thickness out. So I'm pulling the collar down a little bit to give me that opportunity to allow the Nomex to swell up into those areas. All right, and my pressure is, depending on which area I'm pressing, it's about a 2 or 3, which is a light to light medium. That 3 is like a little light medium, but usually light pressure is good if you have something like this Nomex felt. If you don't have the Nomex, then you may have to do heavier pressure because you're going right up against this hard board, and you will definitely struggle with finding the right pressure, the right temperature, and the right time. But you can get it to press on the hardboard without the Nomex, without lines. It just takes a lot of practice. So for those of you who've been asking me, what do I do about the lines? This is my answer to that. All right, so let's see what we have here. And every size is different. So every size is going to have seams that give you issues in different areas and differences in pressure. So I'm just checking here. My camo looks good. My reds look good. I got a little bit of white under the sleeves. I'm fine with that. And then let me check on this mask over here. Oh, the mask is on this side. All right, little mask. Let's see. Let's put the shirt up there. The mask is and like I said, this is tacky paper. So, oh, you know what I did? I mirror imaged. I should have not mirror imaged the logo. Look. Yeah. But yeah, basically. So now I have to change my template. But I think this actually looks pretty cool. So that's the mask. It pressed the mask at the same time it pressed the shirts. So I'm happy with that. Let's see what the back looks like now. So next time, oh, it did like exactly reverse it. So when it flipped it this way, I also had to mirror image only the text vertically. All right, so let's see what the front looks like. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way so we can see what it looks like against the white. Let's see here. Looks good. I need to definitely do my center press next time first in the middle. I see a little bit of the white here, so I might want to either increase my pressure, temperature, or time. So I think I might do a little more of the little more time, little more temperature. I don't know if I want to increase the pressure anymore. So we'll see though. But this one definitely, the bigger shirts you have, you're going to run into some, or depending on how many seams are underneath the heat press at one time, because the smaller shirt definitely didn't do as much as this, but we're going to have to change things accordingly. So I see a little bit there, but I'm actually okay with this. All right, so I'm just going to set this over to the side, and we'll go ahead and get started on the others. Here, I'll set it over here. I'm going to leave it on the form until I need that form again. All right, so we have a youth large and a youth extra small. Let's go ahead and do the extra small next. No. This is a extra small already loaded up, so you just need the 2 prints there. And I have my handy dandy brother help me out. Yes, you can. As long as it doesn't have any ink or anything on it, yes, you can use the same cover paper. And plus, the print is its own cover paper too. So, now you got it. So since we cut our cover paper about the same size of the print, it should be fairly easy to line it up and make sure that we're twisting and turning on the right paper. When you have the paper too big, sometimes you think you're turning the cover paper, but you're turning the parchment paper, and it creates issues for you. All right, so you want to grab your, well, let's pre-press this shirt first, because I've been telling them to pre-press. And I'm just going to creep. I don't like when my hem is curved down. So what I do is I kind of pop up here. I do the same thing with socks sometimes, because I don't like when the socks are, when you put them on the jig and they have that curve and it's not straight across. Because if you were doing a socks with stripes in it, you don't want to see your stripe go straight and your hem curve. So I'm just kind of straightening up this hem a little bit here. And I'm just popping it and pulling it and kind of basically alleviating some of this pucker. And I know I'm going to have puckering under the sleeves. That's fine. I already expect that. But I still want it to look a little uniform. So I'm pulling that out. Now, when we press the shirt, we do want to put, let's put some cover paper. No, it'll be good. You want to just grab one of those single cover papers from over there. I put them on that little table by the front door. Because that little small cover paper, at least you can see what we're pressing rather than that big old sheet. Yes, right there. Yep. And I have some pre-cut cover pages that sometimes we're doing sublimation and you kind of just need to go, especially with the 13 by 19s. I have this size. I believe this size paper is 18 by 20 or 18 by 24. And I just use it as a quick pre-cut cover paper. See how it covers my whole press area and I don't have to worry about anything. I'm going to press right down the center right now just to see what my pressure is. My pressure is a 2. It went from 2 to 3. So for this one, we're going to go up to, let's do 390 and let's do 50 seconds instead of 45. And then see if that helps out with the issue we had in the same. Right. And then if we want to get those masks in there, I think the best pressure that we're getting is when we press it vertical here. Whenever we do that horizontal press, it kind of gives a little too much leeway with that overlap. And I think it's not giving us the best pressure. So let's see with this pre-press what we're looking like. And remember, for the pre-press, even though we're pre-pressing the front, we also want to check the back. So you see how we're getting like a little wrinkling here? This almost tells you exactly what's going to happen when we press. So see, my seam is puckered here because it hasn't been pressed, but my seam is much flatter. And I apologize that my shadow's in the way. My seam is much flatter here where we just pressed. If you pre-flatten the seams, it just allows you to have a better overall experience with that ink transferring into those difficult areas. So I'm looking at the front versus the back, and I think we're looking pretty good here. Like I said, we're going to have some wrinkling, but that is definitely understood and expected. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and press the bottom. And like I said, we're going to just keep it right up underneath the press vertically. And that means that that's going to be, now that we're doing vertically, that means that it's going to be an extra press, because typically we could go one sleeve doing the horizontal way and another sleeve in the other sleeve going horizontally and still overlap that center. Well, because we don't want to play with this middle, because that's where the neckline is, we're going to end up doing 5 presses for the shirt instead of 4 presses for the shirt, which if you can ensure better results, is worth that extra press. Now, again, you can pre-press your shirt with different times. I'm just being a little lazy about not setting the timer, but also pressing it this entire time is making it flatter and more permanent of a press. All right, and then the sleeve here, like I said, I'm just going to hang it off. Oh, that was hot. make sure that I get the entire sleeve on there, including that little bit of that neckline. Go ahead. And y'all, hopefully soon we have this large format heat press so I can show y'all the difference between doing all this, because it's fun to learn, but I don't know if I would call this fun to, you know, continually do larger projects like this. But as I explained and suggested, I highly suggest that you make sure that you have, you know, you have enough work, you have enough coming in to where it justifies that type of large purchase. And for those of you who are waiting, I'm waiting on finalizing the quote from the Chinese manufacturer that we talked about the other night on the live. If you missed that live, please go check it out. It was highly informative. We all had a lot of energy. We stayed up 4 hours on that live until 12 o'clock in the morning talking about what type of printers and presses and our experiences and just entrepreneurship in general. It was called a table talk, and I'm going to start doing more table talks with y'all because it was really enjoyable. I think everyone there was like on the edge of their seats. I don't think we had anyone drop off by the end of the night. We were all still all engaged. All right, so this is our pre-press, and right after this one, I'm going to go ahead and let you finish this part up, and then I'll cut up the RAM board for y'all. That way you get an understanding of this entire process. This one? No, I'll do RAM board. Let's see. Youth small. I think the next one I'm going to do is an adult extra large. I think I did all the youth sizes, right? Yeah, because youth large is the last youth size. All right, so we pre-press is done. Now we're going to take our cover paper and our single print and put it back on the press board here. All right, and this time I'm going to let you take it away, and I'll watch and see if there's anything I need to comment on. But I think you got it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and press the back. Yeah, put the back on first. And sometimes you have to get right in the center of your press to make sure something is even, because if you're looking from the side, the angle that you're looking at may make you feel like it's straight when it's not. So I'm just making sure that I have the same space on each side. I kind of use my hands to measure. And then just visually as well, making sure that we got about even space there. And I'm lifting it up because this is an extra small. I want to make sure that my text is going to make it, the majority of it, in the inner seams. All right, and I'll go ahead and drop that. A little bit of the text is going to be right on the seam, possibly. So I'm shifting it to where that won't necessarily happen. All right, and then of course we'll get, oh, I said we're going to pre-press the mask. That's what it is. So I need to move this out of the way. Yeah, we're just going to rock with the mask the way that they were. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can get 4 to a press. So we're going to pre-press the mask. Ooh, we're going to try all kinds of stuff. Let's move this out of the way. Let's pre-press 4 masks, and then that way, 1, 2. Now these are not the masks that we have on the website. We have some foldable masks. This is a new one I was trying out from a while ago. And then I have these as well, but these kind of require a little more attention with the thickness because they get wrinkles in them pretty bad. So let's also change the temperature to, let's say 390 instead of 385, and the time to 50 seconds instead of 45. 1, 2, 3. You can do 4 at a time. So we'll go ahead and do 4. And then that way, the next time we do shirts, I'm not worried about those mask prints. I'm just going to go ahead and focus on the shirt. 390. And then let's do 50 seconds. And most of the time you want to start your testing at what, 400 degrees, 60 seconds, the standard for almost everything that you can sublimate. Where is that paper? We use this little cover paper here. You can grab one more cover paper. And we'll just put the mask on here. The reason why I'm using the cover paper, because there probably likely is some ink transfer into this heat press because I have not been using my cover paper. So in order to avoid any issues, I'm going to go ahead and use cover paper so I don't have any unintended marks of ink on my substrates. All right, and see how they're all bent up? Hopefully, we go ahead and get them pressed. We go ahead and pull that down. That's okay. We're just pre-pressing it right now. Just getting the wrinkles out. It's probably close enough. It has a range. And I'll check y'all's comments in a little bit and check in with y'all. It's kind of hard to really work and read and respond and all that good stuff without burning something up. Y'all know I don't multitask too well or at all. I will not consider myself a multitasker. Now, of course, like this press, I have to like hit it to pop it up. And because I can't really get in there so close because it's up so high. Oops, we didn't press that. We didn't push that all the way under. But yeah, it did get those flat. Let's get that a little bit more under that press. Go ahead. And that's the bad part about the bottom of the press being so much bigger than where the actual heat is. You have to be very aware of where your press is actually coming down, how much overlap do you really have. Of course, the heat press is a little bit smaller than this outer shell. So where you think you may have overlap or you think you may have covered that sleeve and you let that little corner of that sleeve hang off just a little bit from here, you have a completely white triangle just on one little corner of the sleeve, and you'll have to press the whole sleeve over again to get that little triangle. So I say that with enthusiasm because I know it's true. I've been there, done that. All right, so let's see. Pre-press. See, now they're all nice and flat or whatnot. Let's go ahead and pull our big print back up there with the cover sheet underneath it, and we'll have to realign. Bless you. We'll have to realign the print here. And I'm just checking, I'm just using these seams here to kind of act as a railroad and make sure that I have my text inside of there. Bring it down just a little bit because this is a small shirt. I don't want the print to be on the belly instead of the chest. So I am pulling it down quite a bit. This is an extra small. All right, and let's go ahead and place our mask now. We're going to try to do this thing. All right, so the way it goes is the mask goes this way. So that's the top of the nose, and this is the bottom of the chin. So we're going to place it like so, and then I'm going to reverse it this way. And yes, it's going to be a little mirror image on one side, but this is a fun comic book style, so, you know, have a little excuse there. And I don't want them to kiss. I don't want them to be so close because I want a little tiny bit of space because I want the ink to turn into the dye gas, right? And then it's going to try to escape. But while it's trying to escape, if it has a little path, it will actually dye these edges for us just a little bit, at least so much so that you don't see like a stark white line between the prints. If you kiss them like that, you won't be able to get that as much of that ink escape. So you want a little bit of space to allow for that dye migration to occur. It's going to migrate from the bottom of the print. It'll come up into the paper of the other side because that gas is trying to find something to attach to. All right. So I think we're ready. And another thing, I found that I need to pull this up just a little bit. I'd rather have the logo a little bit lower and not miss pressing down here. So I'm going to pull it up a little bit higher here, just so I don't miss and have that little corner hanging off the press. All right, so let's go ahead and lay the top piece now. Yeah. All right, and what we're doing is we are matching up the corners of the prints for the mask area and for the t-shirt top. Mainly the t-shirt is what I'm really concerned about. Okay. All right, looks good. Let's go ahead and turn our paper completely with everything in one bunch or bundle. We're going to rotate. And like I said, this time we're just going to go completely the length way. And I'm just going to feel where my shirt is. That's my seam right there. But I also have to make sure that I get the mask. So let's see. It's going to be 3 presses for the middle too. So let's go ahead and press the middle. So we're going to end up with 6 presses regardless. Go ahead. So I'm doing down the center, completely down the center. Then I'll do the left, then the right, then the top, down the center, left and right. And the only reason why I have to do 6 presses is because I have the mask on the edge here. So I want to make sure that my masks are going to get proper heat and attention as well. So 6 presses is going to give me the full front, 2 masks on one side, 2 masks on the other side, half, the front side or the one side of that. And then of course we'll flip it over and do the back. So I'm only going to demonstrate this one side, and then I'm going to flip it and let Blake take it away on the other side while I do the cutting of the RAM board, and then I'll check comments before I start cutting the RAM board in case y'all have any questions y'all want to see. All right, so see we did the center. So let's take the whole paper, let's shift it. Let's have a good overlap. And hold on just a second. I'm going to see how this edge right here curled up. You can go ahead. You can do a little piece of tape if you need to, if you were by yourself. Wait. Open. It wasn't under enough. Okay, go ahead. All right. So yeah, we needed that one to be under enough to make sure that it covered that mask down there. And let's see if we did 5 more degrees in temperature, 5 more seconds. And this time we're doing a center press first before we do any overlapping. So center press in the middle, then the left and right for the bottom. Then we'll do a center press at the top, then the left and right for the top. So 6 presses total. And we should be able to do up to an extra large like that with 6 presses. I think even a 2X, possibly even a 3X with 6 presses, depending on how much overlap you really want. Like I said, my overlap, I like to be at least 3 finger widths. All right, you see how it looks like it vacuumed to that shape of that mask down there? That's what I like to see. That's how I know my gas is kind of escaping, trying to make sure it meets that. All right, so here, got it enough. You want to make sure it's going to get all the way under that press over there. Okay, you can go ahead and put that down. And if you don't trust putting your fingers near that press as you're pulling it down, just tack it with a little bit of just regular old masking tape or heat tape. I just don't like to tape too much stuff and then I'll forget about the tape and either end up ripping something or having the tape turned upside down and the adhesive sticks to my heat press. All right, so that is press number 3. And I'm the type of person I like to walk away while this thing is counting, but I'm doing my best not to so I can stay focused. I'm the person I'll start boiling some eggs in the kitchen, walk away, think I can do a million other things, and end up burning boiled eggs. So I have to stay. Whatever I'm doing, I have to be focused. I don't multitask well at all. I told y'all before I have to park my grocery cart or, whatever cart while I'm shopping just to talk on the phone. No, we said we're going to do center this time. There we go. We'll just keep it consistent. Let's go down the middle and make sure the collar is pulled not quite to the top. Pull it down a little bit, about 1/4 of the way. Go ahead. So we still have plenty of overlap down there at the bottom. And I said I wasn't going to peek on my mask, but I can kind of see that it looks like it's sealed pretty good, heat sealed. Now, if you don't have the tacky paper, the large print, then we do a little method with the all over print. I like how somebody summarized that as the AOP. So the all over print we did with the magic towel, which is basically we have a Photoshop template that splits up however many minimal pages that you need. Go ahead. To basically perform an all over print with whatever size printer you have. So whether it's 8.5-inch wide, the 13-inch wide printers, or the 24-inch wide printers, we have the 13 by 19 sheets, 13-inch roll, 8.5 by 14 sheet, 8.5 roll, and the 24-inch roll option. So not only do I, with the class of when you purchase that, do you get the template and how to break those down. I also have a video in there that takes you very much step by step through the entire process of doing all over shirts with the toweling method. The same energy is applied to doing these all over prints, but in that regard, you skip the part where you have to towel everything together. So I do my best to make sure you can do all overs no matter what stage you're in. If you have a personal printer, desktop printer is what we call them. I'm going to go ahead and shift to this final edge here. This is our final press for this one side. You can go ahead. So we have the 13 by 19 / 8.5-inch / 24-inch option where you're toweling. And then I also sell you all prints. So if you want the large format, I loan my baby to you and she prints your prints. As a matter of fact, we just sent some out today. Once you receive your prints, you'll do the same process that I'm doing here. Or if you want to get your own big baby, I offer the ink, the cartridges, the chips, the maintenance tanks, everything you need except for the paper, because I can't fool with all that heavy paper and stuff. But not for now anyway, until we get a big warehouse. So until that time, I offer everything except for the paper for this system. And this is a converted system. This is not a sublimation printer. This is a regular standard pigment printer, but we've converted it over to sublimation using the True Colors Pro ink, and y'all probably see that over there, all the True Color stuff. And I'll talk about that stuff later too. All right, so here is the flip deal. So like I said, I like to turn it sleeves down, pick it up by the sleeves, and be a little careful because this is a little warm. I'm going to pick it up by the sleeve area and flip it. And I press my front first so that if anything kind of happens, it would be on the back versus the front. But so far, I think we've been pretty good in flipping. And this is because it's tacky paper. So you don't have tacky paper, you probably won't be able to do this sandwich method, okay? Or you can do it, you just need the spray. And I have an adhesive spray I'll show you too. So this time, we're going to keep it standard. Go ahead and start at the bottom so we have a process. Once you develop a system, if you can do it the same way every time, you kind of become a laser focused robot and you do it the same way every time. We'll go ahead and press that down. All right. What was I going to show y'all? The spray. You hand me that spray right there. I have this. If you go to my Innate Creatives Facebook group, I have a list of things. You can get this from Heat Transfer Warehouse. I have a link for that as well. And if you use my affiliate links, it does give me a little tip. Now, you don't have to pay anything extra, but it does help your girl out, okay? This is Eco Mist adhesive. I like this one better than some of the other ones. The Condi Dye Pro Spray, that one, I like the tackiness of it, but it gets in my nostrils and it makes my nostrils sticky. So I don't like that. And this one, I don't have as much of an issue with like feeling like I'm breathing it in or anything like that. There are some other alternatives people talk about, but I don't like how I smell them or how they do as far as I feel like they're in my nostrils. So I would suggest, you know, having great ventilation, wearing a mask, all of those good things when dealing with this type of stuff, especially you're heating it up too. So you want to make sure that it's something that's meant to be heated. And I believe this one is meant to be heated. Okay. There's some other adhesives people suggest, and I don't know if it's meant to have heat on it, and I don't know what it's doing to our lungs, and all of this stuff is, probably doing a little something. We just want to be as safe as possible. All right, so that's press number 2 for the back. We're going to do the third press at the bottom, and then we'll spin it around and do the top. So I don't know who's hanging out here with me during the week, and what time it is where you are, but I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I can see that folks are there. I just can't see the comments until I get to the computer. All right. Now press number 3 at the bottom. There we go. And I think next, I already did all of the youth RAM board cutouts. So now we'll have to do the adult size RAM board cutouts. And I have some adult men's, and I think I have a couple of lady sizes. So sometimes the lady sizes, you can put them, and I probably will put them on the adult size jig if it will go. But I just don't want to force it because it's a little bit different cut. And usually the ladies contour on the sides is a little more of a slim fit, and sometimes the sleeves are either shorter or a little bit tighter. So in this case, I want to make sure that I don't mess up by putting my lady shirts on a men's form if it's going to mess it up. Okay, so now we're doing the top center. So like I said, we keep a system, then we can kind of know when we skip the step. All right, so let's do top center now. We have plenty of overlap here. And some people ask, like, how much overlap do you need? A lot of overlap is not required. I'd just rather be safe than sorry, especially when it comes to these substrates that have a lot of variations in the thickness. And I can see even right here that right where that seam is, so you have this side of the seam here, which is actually doubled, then a single seam here, and then you have the bottom hem. So that's a lot of different thicknesses there. And this style shirt is a raglan style. So there are seams that occur right down from the collar all the way to the inside of the sleeves. So it's going to give us a little bit of issue, but I think we're handling it quite well. Now I am going to do a little peekaroo at the bottom of my mask on this next press. Just kind of see what's going on. All right, so let's check them out. I'm just gonna pull that mask right on out. Yeah. Other than my, I'm gonna call this my mirror side. Like this one, you look in the mirror to see the logo, and this one is for everybody else. So you have to explain stuff to folks to get them to understand that wasn't an error. That was by design. But if you notice, see how I see very little white? This is what I was talking about. The ink escapes into this area and kind of gives you a little bit of ghosting. This here ghosting is good because it just barely ghosted that color right on that edge. Otherwise, it would be completely white right there. All right, one more press and this shirt will be done. Here we go. All right, and meanwhile, I want to stick around long enough to see if our issues have been resolved or if we might need to potentially add more pressure, more time, higher temperature. All right, so forgot I could have did a little peek down here to see what's going on. Make sure our hands look good. Okay, I think this might have been the answer. So let's go ahead and reveal. And this tackiness is enough that it could rip the paper. But if you just pull it the right way, it'll come right off. Okay. And let me collect my little mask here. So this got all of the masks done at once. No, we need a total of 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. See how we knocked out 4 masks at one time? And even if this was an unrelated design, see if this was an unrelated design, this was just gonna bleed. See how this gas kind of bled into my other area? This is my bleed area for the shirt anyway. So even if this was a totally different mask design that I was doing for something else, I still would have been able to get some masks done in that area. So I want y'all to definitely consider that. These came out beautiful. We got one more there, so that's a total of 5. So we're gonna go do a couple more this next time. Then that way you flip them. Oh, these are a little bit different. Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and check out the back of the shirt. I'm so worried about the mask. I forgot all about the shirt. That's the main thing. The mask I'm doing as a complimentary item. All right. Checking to see here. I have a little bit of extra color in my overlap area, so I probably do want to bring my overlap down just a little bit, because what's happening is this is the tacky paper. It's a little, it has some great saturation with this ink. So, and as you can see, these colors are very, very vibrant. This is the True Colors Pro ink. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do a little less overlapping next time, just to not repress the same image more than once, because it's actually making it more vibrant in those areas. But I see we've gotten rid of all of the white that was occurring here around the sleeves. It looks perfect there. Of course, we have a little bit under the sleeves. We have those little gills down there. You see? Ma. Yeah, little gills. So we'll be good with those gills. I would rather these gills than to have these tints under the arms. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Those big old triangular pieces of missing ink, and it just is like glaring and disrespectful. But yeah, I'm liking this a lot better as far as how we were able to dig that color into the seams now with no issue. All right. So that's our extra small, our youth medium. And we'll be able to go ahead and get on to the next size. I think it was a youth large. And that should be the last of these youth shirts. Because that's a small there. And then the other thing is when you use the RAM board, or you don't have to use a RAM board. You can use regular paper. And I teach you how to do that in the all over class too. The regular paper is still going to work because it keeps that ink from transferring through the shirt. And the way that I show you how to cut the RAM board is also how you can cut the paper if you want to use paper instead. All right, so let me check for a second. I'm going to check y'all's comments for just a second before we start on this RAM board. And I can't check them for too long, but let's see. Uh-oh. This thing just automatically turned on this sound. Sorry about that if that was in your ear. Let's see. I really shouldn't even be looking at the camera right now. But I'm gonna at least try to aim it up. And looking at my dusty little keyboard. All right, let's see here. If y'all want to see, this is my little laptop setup. You know what? Since I've set my laptop up like this, I have not been on my desktop computer. And my desktop is much more powerful in what I should be designing on. But these little monitors here are, I have them clipped on to my laptop there. Sometimes they be slipping. See how that one's slipping? Trying me a little bit. But for the most part, it allows me to be able to have the multi-screen function on a travel workspace. You'll see I have this one here too. It's on a rolling cart with a little mouse tray over on the side. That's exactly how this one is set up. I just have this little non-slip stuff here, my keyboard on top of the laptop, because I don't like laptop keyboards. Of course, this one's on wheels too. All of my little cords and stuff down there. So literally when I move, my laptop moves and it's all together. I even have, if you see down here, can you see? I don't think y'all can see. I have a little surge protector mounted to the beam down here, so everything's plugged in. I have a white extension cord down there, and all I do is unplug my extension cord, move my little station, and plug in wherever I can fit in. So some of you asked about my little setup that y'all see, and I just wanted to give you that little insight. All right, so I'm checking comments. Really, I'm sitting down for a second. I've been at it, y'all, literally for almost 2 days straight with just a couple hours of sleep each night. But I ain't complaining. Yep. So someone says being afraid of not taping it so it wouldn't shift. That is, as soon as you do your first press, this is tacky paper. So as soon as you do your first press, it's basically going to adhere to itself anyway. And I have to be afraid of taping it because sometimes if you tape it, you're assuming that everything is all lined up and not going to bubble. But if you tape it, you're forcing bubbles sometimes because the this paper, because it has a tack, is going to naturally flatten out and basically get rid of the air wherever it's not having heat and pressure. But if you tape things down, it's almost like, have you ever tried to lay out that sticky vinyl and you tape down, you know, both sides, and then you're trying to make it and force it to be flat? You have to lay down one side or just the center, and then you have to let the pressure do the work. Same thing with this setup. If you're going to use a tacky paper, you can't force it and tape it down in too many places, or else it will show you who's boss. Let's see. I don't sell the masks at the shop yet. If y'all let me know if y'all like those type of masks. I just feel like they sell beautifully because they are single ply and it doesn't cause any wrinkles or anything. But I wanted to test them out because they're not dual layer. They don't have a way to put a filter in them, so I didn't know how many people would be interested in those. So I do have some masks that are the same exact material, but they are technically you fold them in half, so it's technically a two layer design. So I think that one is a little more protective, if anything, because they all aren't protective because they aren't medical grade. But 2 layers is better than one, basically. And then I do have another type of mask that I'm going to try on my design. LaQuisha, yes, the RAM board does come on a roll. It's right here, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. I was just giving my back a little break while I was pretending like I sat down in order to read y'all's comments, but I really sat down to get a break. All right, so I think I answered most of y'all's questions. Okay, you tried Googling the foam or the white cushion. Okay, so let me answer that then, because I know I'm bad about coming back to the same thing. So I will add this. Erica, if you'll remind me, I will add this to the list of things, but I'm going to make sure I show y'all where I got this from. TheFeltStore.com. I'm going to show you what I ordered. So, and I know, you know what? I can do a screen share here. Let me share my screen for a moment. It'll be better than trying to look through the video. Boom, boom. Okay. So I ordered the 1/2-inch thickness. And of course, it's going to be more expensive for the different thicknesses. But I wanted to ensure that I had it thick enough to where it would recover from those seams. If you press a lot of hard substrates like the ceramic tiles, the glass boards, things like that, it will also absorb the hardness of those edges and allow your image, especially those slates, if y'all ever subbed the slates, if you don't have a surface where it can kind of dig into, then you lose that that dye that kind of migrates into those other areas, and you end up with like some missing ink from like the edges, right? So this allows the paper to kind of conform, almost vacuum form to a lot of those areas and give you a little closer edge than you would expect if you were just doing a flat, even press. Okay, so I have the 1/2-inch thickness. The width is 72 inches no matter what. Now, the reason why my foam while my Nomex pad is so big, you notice that I'm still only pressing in one area. But I notice I have several different, as a matter of fact, I have them over here in this corner. Oh, I forgot I'm not showing you my camera right now. Um, but I have so many different sizes of this because I tried to test it out with just doing a little bit of foam underneath just the heat press. But what would happen is when I would shift my paper around and spin it around, um, I was not having that evenness because my image and my paper was so big it was draping off the edge, and that would create issues. So now that everything is uniform across the board, I have less issues. Okay. So what I did for my 36 by 44-inch board, I ordered a 3-foot piece of this thing. So 72 inches by 36 inches. So I had to put 3 feet on here. Let me add it to cart so I can tell y'all what it is. I think I already had one in here, so I think it would be 3 feet. So it's $181 plus it might take somewhere about $20 or so in shipping. So I'm going to say a good $200 for this Nomex felt. There is another solution as well that some folks use, the bedding foam, like a inexpensive $10 topper. But I still got press lines with that, doing it with the 16 by 20 press because or I got shifting in my paper because the foam would give so much under the heat that it would cause creasing in my paper. So I didn't like it, but I also didn't play with it as much. So I may play with that. It's just this I saw as a more of a forever option, and I was willing to pay $200 for this to see if I can have a forever solution. Okay. No, I don't sell the tacky paper, but let me do this. Let me make a list, or Erica, if you can do this, make a list for me. The felt, I'll put that on the list because I kind of want to stay on work mode. Y'all know how I get, one mode or another. I'm going to do my keep list so I can keep up with what I need to update for you all. So that Nomex felt. And I also said I would tell you the tacky paper. So I'll get that link for you. Now, the tacky paper is intended for the large format printers, so I don't suggest you put them in the desktop format printers, although some people have. I'm just going to say don't do anything that it wasn't designed for, because if it does something to your system, I don't want you to suffer, okay? But I do have a link for the paper. Matter of fact, I have a link already for the tacky paper. Thank you, E. I appreciate that. It's on the NA Creators Facebook group. And that's where I want y'all to go, like, for the information, because I'm the type of person, I have to put something in one place and do something one time. If I get too repetitive and it's a mundane task, I tap out. Like, mentally, I tap out and I don't want to do it. So I like to keep things fresh and interesting and bring y'all new ideas. So I will review the old stuff, but for the most part, if it's something that I have for you, I'll just refer to that previous video or those resources so that we can get on to the new stuff and uncovering and discovering stuff. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to get onto the RAM board, and I'm going to turn back to my video for that. So let's go ahead and remove that one. So we're back to video. What's up, Teresa? Hey, you're welcome, Julia. All right, so y'all see all of my randomness over here. What is this one? This is Youth Small. All right, so I'm showing you what my RAM board is. I'm still taking advantage of sitting down, so let me get my butt up and show you how I'm going to make this. And I make the RAM board forms for the 21Ms. I didn't make it for the Rash Guards because I'm very rarely going to do something like that. This is for this particular trip, and I want to make sure that we had some cool swimwear where we could advertise our businesses and have fun. And that's one thing I want to start teaching y'all about for the business part of the Academy and of this channel, is how we're able to take opportunities that we may think, we want a vacation, but honestly, I don't like the vacation unless it's something about work. So I find a reason to vacation in order to still work. And as long as I believe, don't quote me on this because it's something you need to get with your tax professional about. I believe it's 40%. If your trip is 40% business, then you're able to write that off as a business trip. So usually I'm about 90% business all the time anyway. I don't even answer my phone for my best friends and family sometimes. So that's because I'm usually tied up with business stuff. So same thing applies when I physically go somewhere. I'm always thinking of, oh, can I visit this business? Can I go talk to this person and pick their brains? Or I'll go to random sublimation shops every time I go somewhere. And I'll use it as an opportunity to go talk to the owners of those shops, and we have great conversations. I get to plug my ink. I get to tell them how much I love what I do and educate people. And sometimes they send their folks over to me on the academy to teach them how to design. And sometimes I convert them over to my ink. That's a business trip. Right? Every time. I promise I don't go anywhere without doing some kind of business. All right, so we're going to get ready to cut this RAM board. Hopefully we have a good view, and I'm not moving around too much so that it's distracting, but I'm going to roll out a little bit of this board here. And this is the back side of it because I did want to show you how I cut it. And usually when I lay my shirt out, I'm going to show you here. I use this as an example. It has the wall guard arrows going this way. So I'm going to lay my shirt this way. And the only reason why is because when I do my folds of my arms, I kind of want them to be consistent. So I like to cut my shirt the same way every time. Now for the bigger shirts, I have to go this way for the RAM board because my arms are so long. Okay, so, but I've been able to do both. I just try to use up whichever way is least material. So this one uses up least material because it's always going to be longer from sleeve to sleeve. Even when you do a 5X, it's going to be wider than it will be taller. Okay, so here I get to use up as little as possible as long as I'm going sleeve to sleeve that way. All right, so we are doing this extra large, I believe. Large. Yes, please. Extra large, and then the ladies. I'll do ladies next. Thank you. Ladies large. All right, so that is an adult extra large. And I'm going to see if it fits on here this way. If it doesn't fit one way, then I will take it to the other way. Now, this board does roll up on you. And forgive me if y'all are looking at a weird angle or something right now, but I have to put that basket on there to hold that down. And we're going to pull it out a little bit more. I have a little heat tape here. And put that down and give us a little makeshift work area here. Now I'll see if so see how I'm not going to have enough. Even if this barely made the edge of the sleeves, I need 3 inches of overhang from the sleeves, from the bottom hem, and from the neck. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one this way. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I have a natural edge here, so why work myself? So I'm going to make sure my 3, I don't use 3 real inches, I just use my finger lengths here. So 1, 2, 3 lengths, right? When I say finger widths, I'm talking about this. When I say finger lengths, I'm talking about the actual joints of your finger, okay? So I'm giving myself 3 here. And I'm making sure it's pretty even. So all I'm going to do is cut that off down there. And let's pull a little bit more. Just roll off. And I'm going to be using a Sharpie marker. I suggest you use a pencil to do this tracing part because you don't want to miss a mark on your shirt. So I'm going to move this stuff back a little bit. I really wasn't expecting to do this on camera today, but y'all been asking me about this RAM board and stuff, so I figured it was a real good opportunity. Now we'll probably get just And y'all see I'm trying to use up all this little RAM board. So that little section right there, I'm going to count that as part of my extension. And then I'll extend it out a little further here. All right, so let's get the marking. And the only reason why I'm using a Sharpie right now is to show you all so you can see better on the screen. But I do suggest that you not use a Sharpie if you don't have to, okay? Especially if you got a few shirts and you don't want to mess them up. All right, so let me angle my camera up just a little bit. My selfie stick / chest strap concoction. All right, so I'm gonna make this a little bit wider. And the reason why is because I want my shirt to stretch on this a little bit. I don't want to just be willy-nilly floating around in there, okay? So I'm going to come out, and I don't even measure this, about 1/4 inch from the outside here. When I want it to stretch, when I don't want it to stretch, okay? So a lot of times I don't, if I'm just creating, especially not my RAM board, if I don't want it to stretch, and I just want a little real easy insert with the cover paper, I actually go really close to the line as far as drawing it, and I cut inside the line because I'm not using it to stretch the shirt out. I'm only using it to create a barrier so that ink does not go through the front of my shirt to the back, okay? So know your end use and your reason for creating your insert. All right, so I'm going to come down here. All right, I got my sides there. Now, the same thing here with the sleeve. And what I'm going to do is just continue it off the edge there. Hey, little True Ink, y'all wanna advertise today? True Ink wanted to advertise. All right, so, oh, y'all can't see what I'm doing. Let me lift it up on this area. Okay, so towards the top of the board, I need to lift the camera up. I'm going to follow that, and just kind of let it float off. And this is a little hard for me because I'm reaching across a really big table in order to show you this. So let me see. If y'all are able, yep, I think you can see the most part of this. All right, same thing here. I'm coming under the sleeve. Now just let that float off. That was a little raggedy. Here as well. Now I'm going to show you what I do when I get to the neck, because it's going to be really important for the neck that you not make the neck too wide. It'll curl up your collar there. All right, and I'm just letting my marker float. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now when I come here, I'm noticing, hold on, let me adjust again. I'm noticing that right here, my collar starts to turn in. Okay, so I have to make the area, I'm actually going to tap on this collar here with this ink just so you can see. You see how thin that neck is going to be compared to the actual collar? And I have my feet kind of restricted where I can't get under the table. There we go. So again, I'm holding the camera up a little bit so y'all can see. Here to here. Y'all see now? Okay. Sorry, I'm over here dealing with this rig over here. All right. So my neck is a lot thinner than the actual collar because I don't want to cause that collar to curl up while my form is inside of it. All right. So I think we're good. Oh, you know what I should have done? Let me show y'all. Before I remove my shirt, I'll do my 3 finger links right here, right? And then I'll create the edge of my little mark. So 3 finger links, edge of the mark, 3 finger links right up underneath there. Boom. There we go. And I'm just going to use some regular schmegular degular scissors and just cut. And I'll move this now. So I need it to kind of lift up a little bit. Trying to make sure y'all can see what I'm doing because my phone looks like it's really leaning and depending on Jesus right now. Okay, here we go. All right. All right. And I'm trying not to do so much rough cutting because you don't want your board to catch on the fibers of your shirt. So you want to be as smooth as possible. I'm going to get rid of this excess. It's much easier to get rid of the excess than to try to like perfectly cut around stuff with all of the obstacles in the way. And I just keep these little scraps right here. You never know what you might need to make a little form for. And I'll do the same thing. Let's come on over here. Cut down straight. I'm going to roll out a little bit more so that I can go ahead and grab this. Oh, my feet can't get up under here. I don't have to kick something out of the way. There we go. I can't stand when my feet can't get underneath a table because you have to reach so far out. And ergonomically, that is not what's up. All right, so let me go ahead and trim this sleeve. And I'm going to leave my board because I actually was just fussing at my brother because he didn't cut it clean off. But when he left this on here, it allowed me to get an extra sleeve from another form. So it saved material. And another reason he gave for doing it is because you have to have some kind of weight. This stuff curls up so bad on you. Look how it's curling up right now, like standing straight up in the air. If I were to cut this as a sheet, it's harder to trace and to cut because you have to have some type of weight on the end. Hence, why my handy dandy caddy over there is serving a purpose. Now, what I will do is go ahead and give myself a rough cut up here, just in case I need that little piece for something. And y'all won't be able to see that. Hold on, just rough cutting up here with a blade. You see how this stuff curls up? Do y'all see that? Bless you. I think my brother's allergic to sublimation. But that's sneezing. So this is fun. I'm getting to teach him too. So he's learning all the steps to start his own business as well. So yeah. All right, I'm just using my scissors here. Hopefully I can see a little bit better now that I rotated. So Ramboard, let me know if you want to sponsor a video or something. I know this is not what you intended your product for, but you know, your girl might be helping you sell some products. All right, so I want to get clean right there, and I'm going to make sure that I snip that right to that corner. There we go, perfect. Now I probably won't keep that scrap. All right, right here for the neck, try to come down straight if you can. I'm just shifting this board on around, and then we'll cut this sleeve same way we did that. Like I said, these flaps are in your way. Move them down, use a little weight, something so that you can keep a smooth line. And I'm probably cutting much smoother than I drew. All right. One more area up underneath the arm here. And these Rash Guards have some long arms. Most Rash Guards do have longer sleeves. So hopefully my 21M template will fit the Rash Guard. If not, I will make it work. Make it enough. All right. Got that down there. So right now it looks like it's trying to give somebody a hug, and I'm not in the mood. So I'm going to put this on the, oh, you know what? We'll put it on the press. We'll just do a pre-press because normally I press my board to get it flat because I do not pre-press and I will not tell a lie. But I am going to pre-press with you all, so we'll go ahead and get to the next step. So what we want to do here is take the arm. Let me get y'all adjusted up a little bit here. We want to take this arm and we want to fold it down like somebody got an attitude. Okay? Fold those arms. There's one. Same thing with the other. And y'all have to forgive me while I'm folding. My little chest piece might be acting up, so I'll come back up so you can see what I'm doing. All right, see how they're folded down? And the reason why we fold them down is because it makes it easier to insert inside the shirt. But when we create the fold, I want you to notice here that your material is kind of deteriorating because it's not going to last more than a couple of times if you don't do something about this. So we're going to crease it so we get a good fold. Then we're going to flip it over. Pull the arms out. We're going to take our handy dandy masking tape after we already folded it, and we're going to reinforce that area. So I'm going to use my tape here to add a little weight, and I'm just going to kind of pre-measure me out a little tape here, a little regular masking tape. Okay. Same thing on the other side. Kind of pre-measure just by holding it out, seeing how much I need. All right, that looks about good. And that's what we need in order to keep the sleeves to where they can fold over and over and over again. Let's flip. All right, and I am just cleanly taking off this tape, basically using the form itself. It's kind of like a cutter. And if I have any extra tape, I'll just fold it in and tack it down to the board because you don't want the tape just randomly sticking up and potentially catching your paper. I'm just trimming that off. I could also use my scissors or a blade or something, but masking tape is really easy to work with. All right. Let's see the back. Y'all see it trying to hug the table here. That's our back. Boom, boom. This is an extra large. Now I'm going to show you how to insert it in the shirt. Okay. So you would insert it by folding the arms in. And then you want to kind of roll it up like a taco, okay? And then we're going to insert it inside the shirt. That's our extra large. Oh, this is going to be for the Rash Guard extra large. So I used my 21M to create the template, but the actual shirt is going to be pressed on an extra large Rash Guard. And let me, this is a little, it's extra large there. This is the kids' work area here, so y'all please excuse the mess. Excuse my mess too, but this is where the kids learn and work. That's a large. Was that a ladies? I think that was my ladies' large that we're going to do next. Oh, that's a youth large. We already did our youth large. What is that? Ladies' medium. Ladies 2X, and yep, so we need to make a template for that one. And what is this? Ladies XL. I'm looking for men's XL right now. And a Rash Guard. Here we go. Men's XL. Let's see how it fits on this 21M XL. All right. Moment of truth. Let's see if it fits. So I use the neck to kind of gauge whether I am centered or not. Once I see the neck pop through the hole, then I can kind of let my arm area relax, and I pull the arm through one at a time. Okay, so I'm going to stick my hand through the hole, grab the end of the sleeve, and I'm going to roll it out. I'm not pushing it, I'm not creasing it, I'm literally rolling it towards itself, and then I will pull it out. Okay, and then of course I'll align it once I get it all pulled through. Same thing here. I'm going to put my hand inside the sleeve, reach for the sleeve, the end of the sleeve, and roll it towards me, and then pull it out. This one is a little more difficult. I'm being careful because I don't want to rip this material. It is, although it's board, it is still very sensitive. It's not very stable. It's easy to tear. It does hold up pretty decent for a few different presses under the heat. And by a few, I mean maybe like 20, which is better than the paper. Because the paper I've been able to use about 2 to 3 times before it starts acting up on me, ripping up and all that good stuff. All right, y'all see this thing curling up. So I should have pre-pressed it now that I think about it, because now I'm basically going to be testing it on the press. And if I would have pre-pressed it like I normally do, I would not be fighting with this thing right now. Like, it really feels like a fight. Like, sit down, sir. Okay, let's see if I can see what I'm doing. So I want to make sure that before I press it, everything looks pretty much uniform. I want the same amount of space on each side. So I'm going to pull this and make sure I'm even about the size of the shirt. I don't want more space on the left than on the right, so I'm actually adjusting this accordingly. Kind of how you would do socks if the socks were on the jig straight. And like I told you, these sleeves are a lot longer, so I should have, for this adult size, probably pulled these sleeves a little bit farther. But I'm going to be able to make this work. This definitely works for the 21M, but like I said, this is a Rash Guard, and I didn't want to make a set of templates just for the Rash Guard, not with the round board. If I was doing paper, yeah, all day. And these shirts are typically a little bit longer than most shirts, these Rash Guards. So I also want to ensure that I have enough space at the bottom. So I'm rolling this edge here to help me get the same amount of space on each side of the shirt. And then I'm also going to roll under the sleeve. You see how that relieves a little tension there, just by rolling that sleeve? Make sure I'm even up here. All right. Ooh, these bigger shirts, the youth shirts were pretty easy. These adult shirts, might be why I work with kids. Like, I actually prefer working with kids than adults. Can y'all believe it? All right. Because adults are hard-headed and stubborn. You see this stubborn mess I'm dealing with right here? All right, so I think I'm about to where I can put this on the press and go ahead and get a little bit of this curl out of this thing. So there's already a piece of cover paper laid down here. I'm just going to lay my board down. I absolutely should have pre-pressed this. So once I get this main area here tacked down, I think the rest of it's going to relax a little easier. All right. And because like this thing is jumping up so much, I'm not even going to put a cover paper on this. I just want to see this thing come down. So there we go. And immediately that should start to release some of the curl. And you can also bend this the opposite way, and it will kind of take the curl out of it. But this heat just does. See how I bend it the opposite way, but it kind of creases it there. And I think the creasing is going to make it last. Not as long as it could be lasting. So I do like to use the heat because it doesn't crease it when it heats it. And let it up there. All right. So now I'm going to do a little straightening here. Since it's a little bit flatter, I can tell where things are going. You see, I'm still modifying these gills here. I'm basically just like if you were sewing and you're ruching something, you want to kind of even out the gathering. I know it's going to gather, but I just want to even it out as much as possible. And I'm pulling the shirt down a little bit. And I think I want to do a little less pressure, but I might just leave it alone because it did well, the last press on the large. Good. All right. This is just a pre-press, so we can go ahead and hit that one time. Wait, up. Put it up. I forgot my sleeve isn't taut right here. So we're gonna see what happens when you don't let your sleeves be taut. That's my fault right there because I made the material a little too short right there. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Well, you got to put it all the way down, otherwise it won't flatten these seams, and that's what you really need to get that good flat pressure, flat seams. Boy, my rig over here is looking rough, almost as rough as I'm looking with it on. All right. Okay, must have had some dye on the edge of that press a little bit. All right, so we pull it back a little bit and go ahead and press this. Wait, I need to pull this down. Get my gatherings together. Gather under the pits, but then I want it smooth on the sides. If I don't have to have gathers, I'm going to avoid them. Okay. Yeah. I'm using the cover paper now because there is a little bit of ink transfer on the very back of the press that I have to be aware of. Normally what you can do is to get rid of that is just press about 3 or 4 times on a sheet, like this cover paper, and eventually it'll wear whatever dye was lingering, it'll wear it into that paper. Burn it off, basically. All right, and then I'm going to do this one here. That should be the last press for this. And I actually pre-pressed the back. I normally pre-press the front, but I wasn't paying attention. And y'all see my tape here is pretty negligible. It's not like it adds any extra thickness and shows through the fabric. So that masking tape does what you needed to do. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to flip it to the front now and make sure that, oh, look at that big old crease on the front. I'm glad we turned it over and saw that. That's why I say to check the back too, because sometimes you look at one side and you think you're good. Look at all that. I want to clean that up. So I'm going to pre-press it right here again. And right here, I got a little bit of buckling. So I'm just going to adjust accordingly. I'm going to roll these out. Same thing over here on this side. So definitely check both sides. Don't think just because you pre-press it on one side that it's going to be all good or perfect on the other side. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to press that one this way. Oops, sorry. And then make sure that we get the majority of that out. And don't be afraid while it's hot to manipulate the fabric, because that's when it can stretch, when it can maneuver some of those wrinkles out. If you wait till it cools off, sometimes those wrinkles are going to be permanently set, especially when you're pressing at 400 degrees. So be mindful of that. Nice. Let's go ahead and use the cover paper there. Oh. And one of these days, I'm going to get me a real professional system. And until then, I appreciate y'all working with me. All right. So that definitely did a lot better. And I don't feel like we need it on this side, but we can tap this side. Just to at least get this board to flatten out a little bit. There we go. All right, so this is the extra large. So for the adult size, it is a 44 by 36 inch artboard size. So that is what's online. If you go to upload your art, a 44 by 36 can get up to a 3X and possibly a 4X, depending on which 4X you use. It can even get a vapor 4X. So just want y'all to be aware of what size prints to get when you're getting them. And also, this is what size my template board is. So we can go ahead and get our cover paper. So that was all the youths are done. Okay, we just have this adult. I'm trying to drop my camera. All right. Now we're not going to do masks on this one because this is before I discovered that I had to flip the mask. Or we need a cover. Oh, you got your cover paper on here already, right? Where's the parchment paper? Where's the parchment paper? It was a big sheet of parchment paper on here. Yeah, the parchment paper helps it slide around, and it helps to not, the parchment paper protects the ink from going through it, and we'll just shift it this way because it look a little burned up on this end. We can give it a chance. Yeah. All right, so we need cover paper next, and then the shirt. This one, no, it's not. We need the cover paper. It should be a piece of cover paper down here that's 36 by 44. I think we had pre-cut it. Oh, I thought you were talking about the one that the shirt was on right now. No, these are the kitty size ones. These are 30 by 36. Oh, okay. That looks. Okay. Yeah, you're right. That one says the size of the board. No, this is good. We just got it stretched out. So we can go ahead and put that on top of this. You got it? Yeah. So now we're dealing with the bigger shirt now. I'm sorry y'all have to look at it at this angle, but I gotta actually work, so I'm not that sorry. Let's see here. I am making sure that it's about centered on this 36 by 44 page here. And we need to move the shirt anyway because we have to put the print down first. And I'm going to put it down upside down just so that it's easier to see if my sleeves are aligned. And if you wanted to, let's say if you wanted to save these prints here, because the way that it presses is not going to do appropriately. So I could just trim these off and do this later. So we'll trim these off. Now stay close to the size. Oh, and this is the wrong size. You know, we'll leave these on because this is the size for the smaller ones. So, and I think I like the idea of it tacking here. So if we remove the prints from here, it won't have that good tack. So we'll leave it. I think that will work out better. The tack, I need more than I need those mask prints. All right, so yeah, let's line it up, make sure that we're gonna get in the center of this graphic here. And here it would be best, let me move this paper out before. All right, so here it's gonna be best to kind of roll it up to see where my neckline is for the front and making sure that I bypass that for the back. But I also am imagining that this is where my image is gonna come through in the front because it's gonna match up exactly. And like I said, this Rash Guard is a little bit longer sleeves than the 21M, so I am kind of pushing it. Look how my print is barely, once I have this shirt stretched out, I'm barely having any overlap here. So I should have gave myself a little more overlap. But I think we're still going to make it. We're making it over there. Barely. All right, and then I'm going to come down the side here and see how I'm cutting it real close there. Give myself, you should have at least an inch of bleed area whenever you're printing all overs. But I think this will work. That's good. Let's go ahead and do the top print now. And then this is the big shirt we have to do, so everything else will fit well within this. All right. I'm matching up here, these little edges. And this should be good here. Let me know how it's looking on your end. Okay. So since we don't have masks to do this time, I'm not worried about those extra presses on the bottom. I'm most concerned with whether I'm going to get the left and the right of my bottom in 2 good presses. If it takes 3, then it just takes 3. Do what you have to do to make sure that you end up doing the least rework. All right, so pull this over a little bit more. All right, this ensures that I'm going to not have my hem or the edge of my shirt right on the edge of the press. I want to give it a little space. All right, so let me go ahead and press that down. And then of course up top, I'm going to absolutely do 3 presses because I'm going to do a press in the center and then I'll do a press to the left and to the right. But the bottom now, since we're not doing the mask, we can get that in 2 presses. So that's the adult. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get the second print done and then we'll be done with this. So I'll print out the second one and then I'll make the ram board for the ladies large. All right, so I'm at my other little station right now and I'm going to print another copy. Now this one is my youth, I believe. Need to go ahead and open my adult. And printer still on. This is a 36 by 44 inch space here. Let me see if I can add this screen share. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and print one of these off. File print. It's already on a 36 by 44 inch board. Actually, I think this is a little bit smaller. This is a 36. Oh no, it was 36 by 29. We'll do this one 36 by 40 since it's an extra large. If I was doing a 2X, I probably would do the whole 36 by 44, but I get to save a little bit here. And I'm going to rotate the page so that my 36 goes from the top to bottom instead of the left to right. And I need 2 copies because I need a front and a back. So let's go ahead and let me check my print settings here so I can show you all what my print settings are. It's roll paper, plain paper. It's a 36-inch roll. I make my own paper size depending on what I'm printing. So you'll see I have a few different sizes that I commonly use here. And this one is 36 wide by 40. I also have a 44-inch wide media. So this is going to be 36 by 40. Then I make sure that my print mode is on color. I have the color mode turned to off, no color management. I don't want the printer trying to correct my colors. I only want Photoshop to manage the colors. So I have to turn that off. For the resolution, I have it on max quality. And then I have high speed checked on. If ever I get like the banding, then I will turn the high speed off. But for now, it's working just well with these settings. For the layout, I have to make sure that I have mirror image on in order to effectively flip this every single time. And for the advanced, you can turn off the cutter here. So right now I have the normal cut on, so it's going to cut the sheet every print. If I want to do a bunch of prints on a roll, then I'll turn that off and I won't have to worry about it cutting in the middle of every single print, which can slow things down. So once I have all of my settings together, I can save it. And normally what I do is, if you see here, I have a 36 by 44 true innate sub, no cut, and a cut option. So this one I'm going to do 36W by 40 because all we need is 40 when we're doing an extra large. And I'll put true is the ink, innate, sub, and that lets me know sublimation ink. And this one is a cut. And really, I just put no cut. I don't put cut. I just automatically know it's going to cut unless I put no cut. All right, so if I save that, now I have this option for the next time. And then I have a few different settings that I have saved. All right, so let's go to OK. Print 2 copies. And usually it's going to take about 8 minutes to print. I'm going to take you over here to this tool or utility that comes with the T7200. And this one is a 7270. 7200 is just the series in general, the older version of this. And this kind of gives you an estimate of what you're spending, to print. So just an estimation, it costs about $2.80 to print as far as paper and ink. Once you put in your settings for the cost of the paper, cost of the ink. Of course, you also have to consider the cost of electricity, the cost of the machine itself, and of course, any time and energy that you put into these jobs. So, of course, a print online is about $14. And if you look at one print here, is about 1 meter squared. So that's a 44 by 36. And it costs about $2.85 to produce that print. Just ink and paper though. So if you're considering doing large format printing, I'm sharing this with you because I'm very transparent about how I want you all to grow. So I don't want to be your forever source of prints. If you're doing enough of these prints where you can foresee yourself investing in a printer and you purchase your inks with me, that's perfectly fine. So either way it goes, whether I'm helping you with the 13 by 19 all over slice template, or I'm helping you with the big prints, or I'm helping to provide you with the ink so that you can get your big boy systems up and running. And I let you know what you can potentially make on this type of stuff. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here to help to show you. All right, so let's go ahead and close out of that. This is probably going to take about maybe 7 minutes per print, maybe a little bit long, a little bit shorter, because it is an extra large and not a 3X. So the 3X takes a little while longer to print. All right, so those two there are going. I'm going to go ahead and close out of some of my other files. And in order to save that as a PNG, I need to merge it down. All right, so let's go ahead and get on our, gonna take off the stream. Hey, loves, I'm seeing y'all's comments now. Oh, upcoming video, that's the Sawgrass SG-1000 coming up. Hopefully we get to this on Saturday, y'all. This is the 7820 coming up with my little cartridges that I'm testing out. Making sure that these are the cartridges with the chips. Boom, boom, boom. So that you all have an option to have a 13-inch sublimation printer that is under $300. However, the cartridges are not automatic reset cartridges. So you have to change the chip every single time. So we are going to review that on Saturday, more than likely, as well as the SG-1000, if I can get that done Saturday too, and maybe do a good comparison between the two. Let y'all know what I think about them. All right. So as it stands right now, we got Big Boy over here printing, and I think maybe about 8 more minutes of printing and pressing that one. You have the front done, or just okay? So not bad timing. All right. So meanwhile, okay. So meanwhile, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the RAM board for the last ladies shirt. It's a ladies large. Hey y'all, this is work. This all overness. This all overness is definitely some work. Now, see how on my lady shirt for this is actually a Gildan's 42,000L. So, or some places a 420 or 420L. So the ladies fit, and look how short these sleeves are. I'm going to have to really exaggerate the lengths of my sleeves to make sure that it works for those rash guards. Because like I said, those rash guards are very, have very long sleeves, even with the ladies fit. All right, so let's get to it. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to use the rash guard to cut the ladies fit one. Just because I don't want to, like, I came up a little short on that other sleeve. I don't want to do the same. Should be a large, ladies. Thank you. That is large. All right, see, look how long these sleeves are. So you have to be aware that when you're creating a jig, that certain types of substrates that you use matter. So go through the same process again. Pull out our board. Kind of pre-pull out enough to where we think that'll work for us. Add a little weight to get rid of that curl. Now what you can do too, you can pre-press these or reverse roll these so that you don't deal with any issues. Sorry, I'm trying to get my little thermometer out of the way. All right, so it looks like we're ready to lay out the next shirt. Ladies large. And I'm going to turn it this way so that we can use up this extra little piece of material over here. Let's move that out of the way. And then, of course, I have to pull it down a little because I do need some space up here for the neck. And again, I'm going to use the bottom of the board here. Uh-oh, just lost my gloves. Y'all forgive me, I'll pull the camera up in just a moment. All right, so I want to make sure that my hem is kind of a little consistent across the bottom here so that I don't have to cut anything. That gives me plenty of clearance down there. And then I'm going to lay my sleeves as straight as I can here at the top. Look at this tent. This is the tent I was telling y'all about. Do y'all see that? That tent up underneath the arm? If I don't create a stretchable insert here, then this tent is a huge deal of white space. Look at that. I can't zoom in, so I'm hovering over it for you. Look at all that. Nobody got time for that. So that's why we stretch it out. All right. Let's get the marcadora and let's get to work. I'm going to go ahead and start with my neckline here, just so that I don't forget to make it skinnier than I need it. There's 1, 2, and then of course I'm going to give myself about 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch around here to stretch this out. This has a lot of lycra in it, so it can stretch pretty good. Don't be afraid of it. And this one, of course, if my sleeves are long enough for this, it is definitely going to be long enough for my other shirt applications. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. It's about 3 finger lengths there, about 3 inches. Now, if you look here, the ladies' fit shirts have a little curve. So where I was talking about before, I might be able to use a men's cut here. Basically, the men's cut goes straight down, and we've seen that already. So for the ladies' cut, if I want it tight here at the bottom, I have to pull it all the way straight. What problem that creates, though, is I will have more stretching in the center of the ladies' shirt than I would if this was a men's shirt. But I'm okay with that because this ladies' large is probably going to fit the men's medium. And I would rather make one template for men's medium because I very rarely do ladies' shirts. And I'm cutting it real close right here because I need to pretend like I have a men's shirt. Let me get that out of my way. So, I don't know if you can see that there. Pretending like I have my men's shirt here. Coming on out a little more here. All right. And of course, I'm going to continue this all the way to the bottom down here. So let's see how these loosey-goosey marker skills translate into a template. All right, let's grab scissors. Go ahead and cut my neck out. And here's where the curl kind of helps because when it curls while I'm cutting it, it gets out of my way. But anything else, the curl is more of an annoyance. Right. Again, I'm going to leave the area here. I'll leave it attached just in case it could be worth something. And if it starts to get a little awkward, like if I can't really get into some place that I'm trying to get in to cut, then I cut off some excess pieces that help make it easier, or I can shift my board too. So it's kind of getting a little hard to get in here. So if need be, I will cut some excess off to make it easier for me to trim. All right. And cutting here. See how this is making it more difficult for me to trim? It's actually peeling this paper right in this area is peeling it. It's very, like I said, this is very fragile. It's firm, but it's extremely fragile. So be aware of that. And I care a little bit more about the piece that I'm keeping than I do about the piece that I am trying to save for later. So I would rather tear this a little bit and tear my actual form here. And see what I'm saying? Now it's getting a little difficult to get here. So I'm just going to go ahead and just cut this off. Just with a rough cut. Let that curl on back up out of my way. And now I can more easily get into the area that I want to cut. Now, this is not something that I do for every single project. Most projects, I'm just doing the 21 M's. And even if I use a round board, I can use it over and over again. Or, as I teach you in the academy, it's the same exact way that we do the round board. The same exact way that we do the cover paper, if you're just looking for a really quick and disposable method. Okay. All right, so here I go, cutting this little makeshift edge that I cut a little too close. And sometimes we try to save something and we end up making it harder for ourselves. All right. And I think I have a little bit more to cut off under the arm here. Yep. Ooh-wee. All right, so again, I'm not going to put the shirt up on here curled up again. I'm either going to, let me show you what happens when I reverse curl it. And that might solve our problem at least immediately. But I will show you how it creases up. So see how that's causing those little creases there when I reverse curl it? So I do kind of prefer the heat. Oops, I just almost tore my sleeve up, y'all. Trying to get this curve out. Alright, so I'm rolling it the perpendicular way. Roll it this way a little bit. This is a little too much in the neck area, so we'll trim that off a little bit. All right, so let's roll it reverse from the original curl. It's going to put these little dents in it a little bit, but it won't affect the actual press. See how that resistance? You can see all of those little veins popping up. And it's struggling to bend the opposite way. There we go. And like I said, I think it takes a little of the integrity out of the product doing this. So I don't like doing it. But since the press is tied up, I'd rather do this and be able to go ahead and get my shirt on the form and have it ready to go than to be sitting around waiting for the press. All right, let's trim the neck off a little bit. And let's load her up. This is our ladies large here. The straps out the way. Tube. Of course, we use the same old method to put it through. Sometimes the lady shirts are a little harder to get them in, but oh, you know what we need to do? Fold in our arms. And I'm going to put a little tape right here where I ripped it. A little reinforced tape. That'll save that rip so you don't have to make a whole new one. And just let that tape wrap around to the other side. So I'm going to fold my arms in just like we did before. Angle my camera up just a little bit here. And this kind of works like the raglan sleeves. The same way this is folded is about the same angle of the raglan. Now you do want to crease it because you want that tape to be able to properly reinforce it and so that it folds in the same place every single time. There we go. We're just using something to add a little bit more pressure than my fingertips. All right, so flip it to the back. Put our arms back out. Let's go ahead and reinforce those folds with a little masking tape. There we go. And same thing to the other side. Pre-measure it a little bit and lay it down. All right, so let's flip it back over. This time the excess tape I will trim off with a blade just to show you an alternative method. Just follow the edge of the cardboard here. Even though this cardboard is a little janky right there. Here we go. Cut that clean off. And I'm actually going to use this one to kind of reinforce this corner right here, because this is where we had that tear. That reinforces my corner. And now this one up top, I can just fold it down. It's got a nice smooth edge you can follow. I'm good on that. It's where if it comes into a corner that I have an issue with keeping that corner, because it does cause bunching. All right, so let's load her up. This will be the final press. So after this, I'm gonna look at y'all's questions for a little bit, and then I have to get things packed up and ready to go. And doing this single-handedly, so I need to tuck my arms in. Fold your arms. Our form has an attitude right now. Doesn't it look like it has an attitude? Just fold it on. And then once we get it in here, it's going to be happy and want to give us a hug. That's when it's going to be all curled up wanting to hug us. Right? And then we're going to be like, get off me. You didn't want to hug me before. You had an attitude before. Now you want to hug. All right. But we are fickle creatures, and so are these darn substrates. So, a little lesson in dealing with humans. All right, again, I'm pulling my hand in just to roll the sleeve through this hole. And then I will adjust accordingly. So I got her in there. Let's do the other sleeve. Put your hand inside the sleeve. And grab that arm out. Roll it out. Try not to be too rough with it. All right, so see how she wants to hug us now? And she had an attitude before? I don't know what to tell you. All right, so now what we're looking for is to have the same amount of excess material on each side. And then we'll pre-press this one and be ready to have this job done, son. Oh, we do need to press one more mask, right? One more mask. Although the baby can't wear a mask because the baby's, yeah, 5, because babies can't, I think under 2 can't wear masks. So we're good. So 5 came out perfect. I wasn't even trying. All right. All right, so I'm just doing my due diligence now to make sure my sleeve is good and stretched, that I manipulate my wrinkles to where they are mostly underneath the arms and nowhere else. You see I have a little more space on this side of the shirt than I do on this side, so I'm going to do a little adjusting here. Just rolling my fabric across the edge until I get it about where I want it. I'm looking at my neckline up here. And I want to make sure that the neckline is not touching here so that it bunches it up and then it creates a permanent crease and voids for the ink there. All right, so let's flip it over. You might want to get a little piece off of there. Looks good. It is time to pre-press. Woo-hoo-hoo. This is some work, y'all. I'll let y'all stay up me the other night, and when we were doing the stoles, I was showing you my little technique for those with the 16 by 20 press. If you missed that video, go check it out. We was up late, but we got it done. And sometimes I'm in a crunch, so I can't demonstrate everything I'm doing. Well, technically now I'm supposed to be in a crunch too, but I felt like this is a good opportunity to share with you all some of the projects that I work on, and also talk to you all about business too, growing your business, expanding your business, making sure that your vacations are business oriented, so that you can not only grow your business while you're entertaining and having fun, but you growing your business is fun. You know, it's what we all strive to do. That's why we're in this as entrepreneurs, because trust me, it is not for the faint of heart. It is not like it's something that if you didn't love it, you wouldn't be doing it. Okay, so I'm going to press the front of the shirt. See how it's all curled up? We're going to get cover paper. I'm going to take one of these. Do I have cover paper over there? No. I'm not sure. So I'm going to use one of these smaller sheets. Smaller, bigger sheets as cover paper. Since we're done doing youth shirts, I'll just use that. And we're just pre-pressing right now. Get these shirts out of my way so I can use my tippy toes. And I'm just going to let that press all the way out. The 2 prints are here. Cover paper's underneath, ready to go. And that's it. I think we're done with the prints. I'm over here cracking my back and stuff. Like I don't know how to act. All right, let's see. We can check out some comments right now. Oh, you see how I go sit down while I have a little 50-minute or 50-second press? Would turn into a 50-minute press if I sit down long enough. Diane, what shirts do I use? I like 21Ms. They are my favorite. They have a very easy to work with sleeve, especially when you're talking about all that extra meat that's underneath the sleeve. They lay flat there best to me for the price point, because they are a pretty good price point right now. I understand that they are a little scarce for most folks. I think SS Activewear had some, but I just happen to have quite a bit that I stocked up on the last time when the pandemic hit and all of the 3Xs disappeared from all of the world, including the vapors. So I just went ahead and stocked up at that point in time. So I didn't notice that 21Ms are pretty much gone right now. So I don't know what's happening with that. But I am I'm looking at a few suppliers now and getting samples of that product. I won't promise to have them anytime soon, because like I said, I like to have samples in hand. I like to review things before I suggest them. So I will definitely I'll let you all know when I get that. I'm just pre-pressing now. You got the rest of it? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out. So this is our last shirt. I'm going to go ahead and take questions and close out, and then we're done. Whoop, whoop. All right, so let me check y'all out. Oh, see if y'all have any questions. I might even take this selfie stick out of my off of my chest. Let's see here, and then I'll show y'all my screen. Woo. So anything that I'm looking up, I can show you on screen. Let's see. Those stretchy shirts, that's actually Sanmar, and Sanmar has a brand called Sport Tech. So those rash guards are from Sanmar. I'll show you those. And different brands have rash guards. Well, Vapor has a rash guard, but just type in Rash, G-U-A-R-D. All right, and those are the ladies, youth, men's. They even have the long sleeve. So we decided to go with the short sleeve. Even though I think the long sleeve would have been really cool. It also would have been a lot of work and a lot more paper too. So I stuck with the short sleeve this time. I'm already behind schedule. And the DT 6000, it was a black large that we needed the extra one of, right? Like DT 6000. That would be the black shirt that needed to be replaced. Black large. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, y'all. I just remembered that I needed to restock a black large. And I think I have some more larges coming in too, so I'll go ahead and get 2 of those. All right, so yep, and then the adult shirts. Let's see how these 21Ms are looking while we're on the subject. Yay, Tracy got our Nomex. Awesome, Tracy, congratulations. Yes, it will help you tremendously. Like I said, I have yet to really play with the foam. So the foam is going to be the more affordable option. I have it in my other room. I'm not going to pull it out right now because it's a lot going on. But yes, it's about $10. It's not really a memory foam, but it's like a foam. It's called a foam topper for your mattress. And that's what I was testing out using as an inexpensive option. So yeah, 21Ms. Oh my. Yeah, they are low. Like almost non-existent. Like if all you can get is a medium, it pretty much doesn't exist. So I would definitely try some other distributors, maybe SS Activewear. I did check them last week and they had some, but they might be in the same boat as well. And yes, Diane, I'm going to review the SG1000, which I think the SG500 is the 8.5-inch wide answer. And the SG1000 is the 13-inch. Well, it can go up to 13 inches with the bypass tray. So I do have the bypass tray. That's what you saw sitting on top of the Sawgrass printer. So I'm really excited to do that and working in conjunction with Heat Transfer Warehouse, who was able to really help me review this for you all. So we have to give them some thanks and shop with them. Oh my, SS Activewear only has medium and extra large in stock now. Okay, well here we go. This is how we knew things were getting bad last time. So we definitely need to source some shirts. Like I said, I'm good for right now, but when I start doing events over the summer, I definitely like to have options with having shirts in stock. So we'll look up some suppliers. If anyone here has an idea of any shirt suppliers that they currently use and they're satisfied with those shirts and they have a good lead time. Lead time to me is a maximum of 2 weeks if I need it express shipped, and I'm talking about outsourcing outside of the United States. And then if I have to wait by sea, I can order a bigger order, wait by sea, but I like to at least have a smaller order that can get to me in more immediate terms. So I'm checking y'all's comments here, making sure that we wrap up on a good note. And Rona, I didn't get a chance to answer your email yet. It's been a lot going on. So if you got some questions for me, feel free to throw them in the chat right now so I can cover them for you, okay? And Sewing Sis says, I'm new to sublimation and always underpriced. Any suggestions on this? Um, that is an excellent suggestion for a video. And it's actually supposed to be one of our upcoming Academy courses. It's a pretty much standard price list so that it looks pretty, but the main purpose of the price list is so that you have something in writing that states your terms to your customers, because your customers know it's your business. So they feel like there is room for negotiation. But when you have it, on a price list, act like you're not the boss and that you have a business partner or someone else over you or partnering with you. And then that way you kind of have a standard of understanding from your customer. They don't go into Walmart and ask to negotiate prices. So let's pretend that, I have a manager, or I have a supervisor, or I have a business partner that I have to answer to, and I'm not going to deviate from these prices. Your prices are your prices for a reason. And you do have to get used to talking about money with people. That was difficult for me because as an artist, you never get comfortable telling someone how much your art costs. So you are an artist, you are a creator, and you need to be paid according to the energy that you're putting into stuff. We spend sometimes more time on something that we sell for $10 than we do for something that we might sell for $200. And we've definitely got to get into getting the money that we deserve for the services that we provide. Absolutely, because we're not mass producing these things and selling them at wholesale rates. We are literally creating handmade creations, and that does cost more, and that does have a certain value that something that's mass produced does not have. Yeah, Facebook user, if you go over to the YouTube, you don't have to worry about whether I can see your comments or not. If you come to YouTube and comment, then I see that. And I did tell y'all that every time we do a live, I'll do something for free. So, and I just usually forget. So y'all have to remind me. So let me see what I'm going to do for free today. It's going to be off the top of my head. Don't worry. I always come prepared as long as I bring my head. Let's see. What's up, Sharon? Oh, finding a way. I'm so sorry you're sick, love. I'm glad that you made it though. And I don't know what's going on with these notifications. Some people have the notifications to all and they're still not getting them notifications. So I try to put that little 5 minute, if y'all notice, I put that little video on ahead of time, and it kind of lets people know once I start recording. So I've been trying to put that timer on to give y'all a heads up so y'all don't miss the good stuff. Let me know if that helps or works for y'all. When I put that timer up, does it give you a little more time to get to the live? Diane, I have a video on how to download the templates. If you can message the Innate Lab page or message Erica Kane and the Innate Creatives Facebook group, then we can definitely help you with that. Mm-hmm. All right, all right. Thank you, Diane. Diane says, I love your channel. Thanks, Diane. We put in a little slight work over here, just a little bit. Can the Epson T3475 be converted? The problem with the 3475, and I'm going to check before I run my mouth, T30, if it's the one that I think that you're talking about, 3475, it does not have the chip or the cartridges yet. Okay, so if there is a cartridge, this is how it works. If there's no chip or reset chip, right? What you have to do is you actually have to buy the chips. So this system We can look up refillable cartridge. So let's just see if it exists. I doubt it. Because these are for the ones that I have. This is for the 5270. So I have these cartridges here. I don't think this is it either. Let's see. I doubt it. Nope, P600. So they don't have the cartridges yet for this system. And I kind of stalk my my folks over in China, and I ask them all the time. They probably get tired of me asking the same old questions, but I was able to ask them recently, and they were able to get me the cartridges for the 7840, which is the same problem. They don't make the cartridges with the chips. So in that sense, you have to pretty much, even if they have the empty cartridges, you have to buy a set of real Epson ink just to get the chips off of them, just to put those chips on the refillable cartridges, which is what people were doing for the 7820s and 40s. But now that I have the cartridges with the chips, they still aren't automatic reset chips. They are chips that you have to replace, but I have the replaceable chips. So I am going to review that this Saturday. Hopefully I'll get a notification out there to y'all so that you'll know to watch that Saturday and not miss it. The PC printer setup video. Okay, Latoya, let's find it. And then I got to get off this live and pack my junk up and figure out what is life. What is life outside of the lab? But you know, I take the lab everywhere I go, so I will be working on the road. Let's see. Let's go to the videos and let's search for the, what is it, 7720, I believe. That was the one for the Mac. It's my calibration video. That's what it is. Type in the word calibrate. And if it's not in there, I need to put 7720 in the title of my calibration video. So that would be good for you all. Calibrate. Type in the word calibrate. Boom. So I need to put that in there. Y'all are so smart, I promise. So let me go find this video on my Montage videos. And let's go ahead and put that in the title so y'all will find that. So I believe, let me turn off my volume. And I believe I set up the monitor. We calibrated the monitor. After we calibrated the monitor, we set up the printer. So we actually set the printer up from the printing preferences so that it would always be ready to print sublimation and have the proper settings. So these are my settings for True Ink. And I tell you how to set everything up and also how to save the preset. And this will be your default settings if you do it this way. So you will never, ever, ever have to go into Photoshop and set back up these settings every single time. It will be inherent to the default settings for your system and that printer. Okay, so then after we went through those settings, we went through Photoshop, printing from Photoshop. That's part 3 of the calibration. It's showing you how to make sure your printer settings are appropriate for what you're going to print. And then we're going to make sure that we allow Photoshop to manage the colors. So that video is right there for you. Okay. Okie dokes. I think that's it. I'll probably talk to y'all about some extra stuff as I always do. But I'm sure there's some gems or some little nuggets in there. All right. And then what I was going to do, I'm going to look for my calibrate video. And then I'll update that to also put the 7720, 10, all that good stuff. So this is Epson 7710, 7720. This will also be the same settings for the 7210, 7220, and some of your smaller format sublimation printers too would have the same way that I set it up in this video would be the way you would set those up. Now, I do need to do a video for the 15,000, which I don't suggest the EcoTank 15,000 anymore because so many people have been telling me about issues they're having. I have one, and I haven't had those issues at this moment, knock on wood. But when I see a problem be persistent, then I'm not going to question all the users. I'm going to say that that might be a systematic issue, and I don't want to suggest that. 16650, I haven't had any issues with that one. It is my baby, my little baby. So I have my big baby and my little baby, but that one does wonders as far as printing fast, not giving me issues with banding. Of course, it's Eco Tank, so that one has it prints so fast and is reliable. It makes me happy. So between that one and my T7270, which is the big boy, that's all I use. These other ones are just for testing out for you all. So the 15,000 I don't use for sublimation. Now, if I had to have different printers going off at the time, I absolutely would use them. Then I have the 7720 over here that I have yet to do my print head cleaner video for you all. Yeah, my 15,000, it's been good for me, but it hasn't been good for everybody else. So because I've heard other folks saying things about like their colors are starting to shift and different things of that nature, I use it, but I won't recommend it. Let me put it that way. All right, so yep. So Chrissy, I don't know what vendor you use for the 4X and 5X shirts. I use Condi and Vapor, or I use Coastal for the 4X and 5X shirts for Vapor. But those are the only shirts I'll buy from Vapor, because Vapor shirts are quite expensive. They're high quality, but they are expensive. All right, so oh, you're welcome, Latoya. All right. So I'm so glad we got to spend this time together. Let me see. Oh Lord. I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything else before I get on out of here. Oh, I guess what we can do is we can go back and review what we just did for today. And then I can show y'all my concoction while I'm over here looking goofy just for y'all. I mean, you know what? I gotta show y'all how goofy I'm looking and how much I look goofy for y'all. Hold on. Un momento, por favor. I don't even know. I literally have a. Hold on. Y'all gotta see this tomfoolery. Hold on. Okay. How do I set y'all back up where y'all can see my silly self? All right, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and what am I removing my screen now? So y'all can see my silly self. Look, ooh, I look tired, boss. All right, so check me out. I have a chest strap on, which is what I had, this selfie stick that I'm holding right now attached to my chest strap. And then I have a battery pack on my back. Oh Lord, I almost had the whole phone bust me in the forehead. Don't judge my life, please. But yeah, I have a whole battery pack on my back right now so that I could make sure my phone didn't die while we were doing this session today. And then of course we have the randomness in the room. Y'all know how much I love y'all. Do y'all really know how much I love y'all? Look at this. Ooh, baby. I'm gonna get some rest. Tonight, I'm going to tap out, and I won't see y'all probably again until Friday. Class is Friday. We're going to be doing the ties. So we have I don't even know. I don't want to do this, but I just have to. Let me take y'all. Hopefully I don't lose any signal. I'm like really like tethered here. All right, so excuse all the boxes and fooleries. My entire downstairs is all shop. All shop. I wanted to show you all. And then we're still unpacking. I still have not unpacked from my move. But let me show y'all what I'm excited about. I'm going to create a template, of course, for you all. And now I'm trying to hold this selfie stick. This is why I had y'all tucked into my chest, because I can use both hands. All right, so we have the ties. So that's the tie. And this lighting in here is horrible. And let me see if I can get up here. Oh, all these boxes on boxes on boxes. Hey. Y'all, this thing feels like it's about to scare me. Hold on. Let me secure this selfie stick so I don't end up with a black eye from my phone. Oh, let's see. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so here I have the pocket squares. We're going to test that out. It's a little matching satin pocket square. What do I do with the little tie? Those are the stoves down there. Y'all keep trying to beat me out of the stove. Y'all been working. I'm proud of you. If you've been working that much, the stoves have been disappearing. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. And then one more thing. If I can get to it. On the tips of my toes. Yeah, y'all can tell I'm sleepy because I get real goofy when I'm tired. Oh, here we go. All right, so cufflinks. All right, so I'm excited about this. I don't know if y'all are excited, but I think this would be good for graduation too, because a lot of times graduation people want to dress up. They don't want to do t-shirts. So, or even remembrance stuff. These are really, really. I didn't think about how good this would be for remembrance. But the cufflinks have where am I going? Here. Okay, there we go. So these are the circular ones. I'm just going to stick with the circular ones for right now, but I will get the square ones if y'all want them. But you can put monograms on there. You can put photos. I don't suggest putting words other than initials on here because it's just overkill because it's so small. And then, of course, the tie and the pocket square. So we are going to have a whole class where it's going to have the mock-up and the template with the pattern tiles and stuff. I'm not used to doing this selfie thing. Sorry, y'all. But we'll have the whole setup, and it will be a part of the class for next Sunday. Not, wait a minute. No, that will be this Sunday. This Sunday. Because next Sunday, I'm going to be teaching you all how to design for the cut and sew t-shirts. So I'm excited about that. All right. So y'all know I'll be uploading my classes like right before class. I usually have them uploaded either Friday or Saturday, but it's because like literally the things that you're telling me that you want to learn, I am creating content from the top of the dome for those end uses as you all are telling me that you want them and need them. So basically I'm telling you that you just gonna have to deal with my little last minuteness in the academy, but I know y'all love me and I know y'all always get great energy from the academy live courses. Okay, so let me get up out of here. I can check to see if I have any more comments. I'm gonna go back to the computer, but y'all, today, anytime I get ready to go somewhere, it's always a whole feat. So yeah. Oh yeah, I said I was gonna show y'all. We're gonna wrap it up. So let me do. All right, so selfie stick while I'm tethered with the battery backpack. Y'all see where it's at? I literally have a little bag with a like portable battery in it. That's how much I care. All right, so Blake, let's show them. That's the large, or that's the ladies right there. Yeah. All right, so I want to go ahead and show them what the ladies large looks like. Looks good. So Blake, this is your first time pressing all over. How you feel? Great. Did you just say great? Yes. I think you feel like you're ready to pack up and go. All right, loves. So anyhow, you saw that even a first timer pressing all overs can get through it and do a great job. So I'm taking out my battery pack. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all dearly, but I got to get out of here. And let me turn this way. So at least when I leave y'all, I can say bye with my product and my little band in the background. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all dearly. And until next time, bye. Bye, y'all. It's going to be a little awkward because I still got to turn the video off. But yeah, I still love y'all and bye.